Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for today's Pilates and Yoga Fusion Flow class. This was a request by one of my subscribers. Just to be clear, I'm not a certified yoga instructor, however, I've been doing yoga for many years, so I've created a 30-minute fusion workout for you. Thank you, Samar, for the request, and I hope you enjoy it. Please take a second to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you. Begin seated on your mat in a comfortable position. Move your flesh around so you can feel your sitting bones on the mat. Inhale the arms out to the side and overhead. Exhale as you lower them down. Inhale, big stretch up, lengthening the spine. Exhale to lower. One more time. Lower the arms to your sides. Draw your chin towards your chest to stretch the back of your neck, and then extend the neck, lifting your chin to the sky. Bending the neck forward, extending the neck back gently. Come to a neutral position and then side bend, bringing your right ear to right shoulder, and then up and over left ear to left shoulder. Back and forth at your own tempo, breathing deeply and relaxing the shoulders. Return to neutral and then rotate your face to the right. Drag your chin down and across your chest and up and over to the left shoulder, and then back again to the right shoulder, drawing a semicircle. Breathing in deeply and stretching through the neck. Return your face to forward and then inhale those arms up and overhead, growing tall. Then exhale, tip your chin and roll forward through the spine, bending over your lap, reaching your arms out along the floor, and stay in this nice stretch for your hips and low back. Walk your hands over to the right corner of your mat. Leave your left sit bone on the ground. Breathe deeply into the back of your lungs. Walk your arms over to the left side of your mat. Stay bent forward. Relax your head, neck, and shoulders. Return to the center, then slowly roll up the spine, bone by bone. Arms reach high overhead, and then exhale them down to your sides. If it's available to you, come to a seated position on your feet. Sitting tall, directly above your feet, keep your knees close together. Spine is tall and lifted as you breathe deep, stretching the feet and ankles and activating the hamstrings. It's uncomfortable for your knees, keep your bottom on the mat. Inhale the arms overhead, lower your right hand to the mat and side bend over, left arm reaching overhead. This time bend to the left side, reaching the right arm as far overhead as you can. Return to the right side, and as you do, lean your hips off of your feet if you're sitting the way I am, over to the left side for a deeper stretch through the hip. and then up and over to the other side, leaning your hips to the right as you reach overhead with the right arm towards the left side. Return to a tall position and rotate your spine to the right, looking as far back behind you as you can, breathing deeply. Stay tall and lifted as you twist to the other side. For a toe stretch, flex your feet. I'm moving my pant legs so you can see what I'm doing, and sit back on your feet. Spine long and lifted directly above your heels. Holding the stretch for as long as you can. If it's too much, lean your body forward off of your feet just slightly. Release the feet and come into a quadruped position on your hands and knees for cat-cow. Bend the elbows slightly as you move into your cat position, belly towards the floor, and then straighten them. Then bend them slightly as you press away, lifting the spine to the sky. Bend those elbows, arch the back, inhale. Bend again and round the spine for cow. Inhaling in one direction, exhaling in the other. Now I'm doing a set keeping the elbows straight. Arch the back, lifting your head and tail, and then curl the spine up to the sky, looking towards your thighs. Keep those elbows straight if you'd like as you arch and round the spine. One more time. Big inhale as you extend, and complete full exhale as you round. Now to stretch the wrists and forearms. Rotate your hands so your fingers face your knee on the right side, and then lean backwards a little to stretch through the front or anterior forearm. Switch to the left hand. Gently sit back to deepen the stretch. Now place the back of your right hand, knuckle side, down on the floor, fingers towards your knee, and stretch back, getting the posterior side of the forearm. And do the same stretch for the left hand and forearm. Watchdog is next, so make sure your hands and shoulders are in line and knees and hips are in line. Then extend your right leg back behind you in the air and left arm out in front of you. And balance. Keep your belly drawn into the spine, your head in line with your tail, and hold those extremities up as high as you can without arching your back. Softly lower down and switch to the other side. Extend the left leg back and the right arm out in front of you. Balance and hold. Gently put your arm and leg down and press back into a child's pose. come into downward dog on your hands and your toes for treading through the feet. Rise high on your toes, then bend one knee as you drop the opposite heel, and continue to alternate, dropping one heel and the other. Lower both heels to get a great calf stretch. Lower your hips down into a plank position. You may have to move your hands forward or feet back. Hold steady as you breathe. Pretend you have a pole from the back of your head to your heels and your spine is staying straight in line with the pole. Softly lower your knees and then lower your chest down to the floor. Press into your hands, lift your head and chest off the floor, extending the spine. Breathing deeply as you hold this swan position. Squeeze your glutes to protect your low back. You lower the head and chest, move your hands slightly forward on your mat, and try to rise up until your arms straighten if that's okay for your back. Inhaling as you rise up, staying there for a breath or two, and then exhaling lower down. Straighten your arms overhead and be in the shape of a big X. Inhale, raise your right arm and left leg. Your head may float off the mat slightly. Hold for a moment, then lower them down. Other arm and leg rise up, hold for a split second, and lower down. Continue to alternate. This is a prep for swimming, which we'll do in a little while. Lower down and rest your forehead on your hands, elbows wide apart. Tuck your toes under as though you're going to stand on your feet. And then straighten and bend your knees by squeezing your glute muscles and not by arching your low back. So keep your pubic bone pushed down into the floor. Keep your knees off the floor and point your right foot in the air, flex it down, and then the left foot. Do this 4 times, and then you'll be pointing both feet in the air. Squeeze the glutes, protect the low back. Keep your forehead attached to your hands, but float those arms up off the floor into a mild extension. Press back into a child's pose to do an opposing stretch. Return to downward dog position on your hands and your feet. Shift your hips back towards your heels to stretch and hold. Return to a plank position and hold. Softly lower your knees and then lower your chest down to the mat. Pressing up into a baby cobra, inhale, exhale to lower down. Move your hands forward, rise up a little higher if it's available to you, and exhale to lower down. Here comes the swimming exercise I mentioned earlier. Straighten those arms overhead, raise your head, chest, right arm, left leg, and then swim. Kick those arms and legs up and down in opposing directions, breathing in and out, squeezing the glutes, and lower down. Sit back on your heels for a child's pose stretch. Walk out onto your hands and knees and return to your downward facing dog position. Walk out into plank position and hold. Lower the knees, then the chest down to the floor. Baby Cobra, pressing into your hands, raising the chest off the floor slightly. Lower back down, move your hands forward slightly so that you can rise up until your arms straighten if possible. And lower back down. Come onto your forearms, hands are clasped together, legs are close together for your single leg kicks. Point the right foot towards your bottom and then flex it, extend the leg out. Left foot points and flexes and extends. Continue to alternate your legs, keeping your pubic bone pressed down, shoulders away from the ears, and navel to spine. Next, we'll add extension, so point, flex, extend, and lower the leg. Point, flex, extend, and lower. Continue to alternate legs. Lower down for double leg kicks, resting on the left side of your face, looking to the right. Clasp your hands behind you. Kick your heels towards your bottom 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Extend, reach your arms behind you, look out in front of you, then lower to the other side of your face. Kick, 2, 3. Extend up, lower down. Continue for 2 more repetitions. Press back into child's pose. Return to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg into the air behind you and hold. Then bend that knee underneath you and step your foot towards the front edge of your mat. Softly take your left knee down to the mat and stay here for a low lunge. You can lift your head and chest and arms and extend backwards. Stay there for a couple of breaths. Lower your hands to the mat, tuck your back toes underneath, extend your knee off the mat, keeping your front leg bent. Try to lift up as you balance, extending and reaching the arms up to the ceiling, holding this high lunge or crescent pose. Pivot your back heel down, open your arms wide apart for Warrior 2. Straighten your front knee, reach forward out of your hips, and then lower that right arm down towards your ankle if possible, left arm overhead for triangle pose. Lower your hands to the mat and lift your back leg into the air for Warrior 3. Remember to draw your abs in to protect your back as you're bent forward, and it will also help your balance. Try to lower your leg and lift into an upright position without touching the floor with your foot if possible, and balance as you stand here for your tree pose. Softly set your foot down and turn around. We're going to come out into a Pilates push-up position. I won't be doing push-ups. I'll be holding a plank, but you can choose to do push-ups if you'd like. Stand in Pilates V. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Curl forward. In 3 to 4 steps, walk out into a plank position and either hold or do 3 or 4 push-ups here. Walk the hands back towards your feet in 3 to 4 steps without shifting your weight too much side to side. Keep your biceps near your ears as you curl up and then lower the arms down. Clasp your hands behind your back. Return to downward facing dog. This time, extend your left leg up in the air behind you and hold. And then you'll bend your knee underneath you, placing your foot on the front edge of your mat. Softly lower your knee down for a low lunge. Lift the head, chest, and arms up and extend back if you can, breathing deeply. Lower your hands to the mat, tuck your back toes under, pick that kneecap up off the floor, and rise up as you balance for a high lunge or crescent pose. Pivot your back heel down to the mat, open the arms for Warrior Two, keeping that front knee bent. Straighten the front knee, shift forward, and then lower your left hand towards your shin or ankle, right hand to the ceiling for triangle pose. Lower your hands to the mat, lift that back leg up, straightening the front leg, and balance for Warrior Three. Stand to an upright position and bring that back leg forward towards the other one. Balance in tree pose. Lower your foot to the mat and cross your feet, and then carefully sit down onto the mat. Knees are bent, feet on the floor, holding on to your thighs. Grow tall, inhale, and as you exhale, contract your deep low abs and curl partway back until your arms straighten, and then roll up the spine. You'll do this several times. Now curl partway back, release your thighs, keeping your arms out in front of you, and then march the legs, picking up one foot and then the other. Add rotation. Lift your right leg and rotate your chest to the right. Lift the left leg, rotate your chest to the left. Continue to alternate. Place your hands on the floor behind you, nice and wide, leaning back slightly for can-can. Drop your knees to the right, to the left, to the right, extend them and bend them. Then to left, extend and bend. Continue for a couple more repetitions. Remain on your hands or lower to your forearms like I'm doing for hip circles. Extend your legs up to the ceiling, toes pointed. Circle the legs down, around, and up, then alternate direction at the top each time. Try to make your circles bigger with every rotation. Lie down on your back for bridging. Press into your feet and hands as you tuck your tail and peel the hips up into a bridge position on an inhale. Exhale, softly roll down bone by bone until your tailbone meets the mat. Then go again. Now leave the hips up in the air, and if you can, walk your shoulders underneath you and clasp your hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers, and hold, breathing deeply in this bridge pose. Unclasp your hands and slowly roll down bone by bone. Then hug your knees in and rock side to side to massage out your low back. Supine twist is next. Lift your feet up into the air, into a chair position, and then lower your knees down to the right side as you look to the left. Keep your arms stretched out. Do your best to keep your knees together, and if you need a prop, you could put a block or a blanket in between your legs. Use your core muscles to lift back up, hug those knees in and rock side to side, and then we'll go to the other side. Lower your knees to the left, look to the right, and breathe deeply, stretching the spine. Hug the knees back into your chest as you unwind and rock side to side and massage out the low back before we go into our banana stretch. Extend your arms overhead and the legs down to the floor. I want you in a big X position to start with, and then you're going to side bend to the right, gently pulling your left wrist with your right hand. Now slide your left foot next to or on top of your right foot. Stay here and breathe nice and deep into your left lung to stretch that side of the body. Make sure that your pelvis stays flat and level on the floor. Shift over to the other side, pulling on your right wrist with your left hand, and then slide your right foot next to or on top of your left ankle. Breathe deep into the right side of your waist and stretch. Return to a neutral position, and we will finish in our corpse pose, or Savasana. Wiggle around to get the kinks out of your back, your hips, and your legs, then rest comfortably on the floor, breathing deeply, inhaling and exhaling, relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders, the muscles of your face and jaw, your hips and low back, and feeling your arms and legs are heavy on the floor. Take as much time as you need here, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video.